Hey, hi. Okay, I am a few minutes early here, and I just wanted to get on to kind of make sure everything was all set up. But you should be joining this with me, and you will notice that down on the bottom is a little thing that says join here, or put your name here, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but go ahead and click on that and put your name and tell me where you're from. So we're going to give a few more minutes because we are just a little bit early on this. Let's see here. I'm going to see if I can also add this just for the fun of it to another location. So while I'm kind of waiting for you to come, I'm so excited that you are here. Go ahead and say hi. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Post that there, see what happens. Just for fun of it, let's see. All right, I'm kind of waiting for people to show up and say hello. We have one person. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Tell me where you're from, Lisa. Am I saying that right? Am I correctly saying your name? Go ahead and tell me where you are from. All right, as we're just kind of waiting for people to show up and be here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that you showed up today. And the purpose of this the purpose of this is to really talk about our art and to be able to. One of the biggest things that hold people back from getting out all of the stuff is they just feel like they don't have enough time. Um, They don't feel like there is enough time. Okay, thank you, Lisa. I'm glad I'm saying that correctly. I'm glad you are here. Tell me where you're from so I have an idea of where this is going. In our group, we've had people down in Australia, a lot in the USA, of course. And so it's always fun to see where people are here that are joining us. Anyway, the biggest struggle is to be able to think to ourselves, I have enough time to do this. And part of that is simply because I think the fear of, not fear, that's the wrong word, the anticipation of setting everything up, and then maybe the cleanup afterwards. And we think to ourselves, gee, I don't have a lot of time for that. So my purpose today in doing these last couple of ones on Fridays is to just show that for me, I think it's giving myself permission to play. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Well, we're going to try something a little bit after this too, if you want to hang on and stay around a little bit longer, because I thought it might be kind of fun to just add. Giving ourselves permission to play. So I'm going to walk you through this, and I hope that you brought, and if not, just sit back, watch whatever, and let it kind of inspire you to do something yourself. I did include in the email a little link to a video for this particular one. And this is a lot more detailed than what we're going to be doing here, but it's the same concept. It's just basically getting out your watercolor paper, getting out your watercolors, your brush, your water, and a paper towel so that you can kind of clean things off with, and then start letting the color flow on that paper and enjoying the movement of it and relaxing. You know, a lot of times when I will do projects, and you'll see in this at the very end, I kind of my projects, I go back in and I start doing some detail work. I'll use a white jelly roll. I've got one right here. A white jelly roll. or my black marker, and I'll put the little detail in. And I thought to myself, I wonder if I'm getting too much into my left brain, because the beauty thing about art is it helps to kind of bridge the gap between those two, the left and the right brain. And that's what brings relaxation. That's what brings peace and a little bit of comfort there for ourselves, is when we're not too caught up in all the, oh, I got to do this, or the details of things. And I thought, I wonder if I'm, defeating my purpose. And so I did a little research, and I found that no, not at all. That when we start going into the detail work of our things, it actually enhances um, that ability to just sort of forget what's going on in our life, what's going on around us. Um, I am going to go ahead and start this and walk you through this a little bit. This little video, I pre-made it so that it would be easy to show. This is a little 4x6 watercolor paper. I love using that size because it's the perfect size to send off as a card. So once I finish something, then I've got a little stash. I can mail it out to individuals. And all I've done is I've taped off the edges, and I've put it on another little surface that I can kind of move around. And I've grabbed my watercolors, and as you see, I just started adding streaks down of beautiful turquoise, blue-green. Love that color. It's very restful and peaceful. And then knowing that this is going to be kind of something that I wanted to be like out in the fields with flowers and etc., I went ahead and just added some kind of an army colored green, you might say, from the bottom up, so that it moved that ground up. And then come back in, and believe it or not, I'm using a purple for this. And it's kind of a deep purple, so that you can tell as it's on where it's real light, you can see the purple, but otherwise it almost has a little bit of a brown look to it. And it's just the color that's part of the palette that I have. And so it's not necessarily that you need to use purple, but I just thought it would be kind of an interesting combination. And I'm using a fine brush, the fine brush, to be able to just do some little strokes up, and just let them kind of, like the wind's blowing them, just let them go up. Just start from the bottom and move up. And then with that same brush, I'm going to come back in and start dabbing in. Now there's a fancy word, isn't it? Dabbing in little blobs, or little areas of a golden yellow, and just add those to that, and come back in. And I think it's important to go in and kind of do your base coat. If you saw my email that came through this morning, it talked a little bit about some of the steps for that sunflower in layering colors. You want to do your base coat and then come back in with some shadows. So what I'm doing here is I'm adding a little bit of red, a little bit of orange, just down towards the bottom of where those are, and adding some shadow areas, and creating other flowers that are different heights. So you kind of think of in steps, don't you? You think about your foundation, and then you start building on top of that. And once you get your base color down, it's a lot easier to go back in and start putting in some of the elements, your focal point, by adding some shadows and different things in. And that's all I'm doing here too, is coming back in and adding a little bit more in. And why? Do I need to? Was it necessary? No, it's just relaxing to me to be able to grab that color and come back in and just play a little bit more with it. Do you love to use watercolors, Lisa? Tell me, what is one of your favorites that when you create art, do you like more paint, like acrylics in that? Or do you like to use watercolors? What is it that's your favorite? If you type that in, I'd like to see that and find out a little bit from you. Let's go. I've gone back in, as you see, and I've added some darker color in to create that bottom, that ground, that kind of like, the little grasses that grow up underneath the little flowers and stuff, etc. A mixed media artist. So you're like myself, you love to use everything. Whatever's there, you love to use it. Um, and don't you find that you kind of go in and out of phases? I don't know. I do. Sometimes it's a lot of watercolor, and then I'll step over into acrylics and that. Or I'm gonna pull back out. Where are you? Where are they? Where are they? I just had them here a little bit ago. Here they are. I'm gonna pull out. I've had these for years, and they're the Faber-Castell, the gelatos. And I used them for a little while, put them away, haven't touched them in, I would say, a good year, maybe a year and a half. And, that's why I love mixed media, is because you go kind of with the flow, don't you? You love to use everything. Yes, we're so similar, so similar. As you notice, as I was doing this, I came back in and added a variety. So uh, there's a few of the flowers that I just dotted, like they're just kind of little, it's almost like a wildflower, or I hate to use the word weed, but it is kind of like that, where it's just little dots that go up, and it's kind of creates that little bit of airiness and that to the flowers. So the purpose of doing that is variety, giving your artwork a little bit of variety, which is important, giving it something else so that the eye is looking constantly to see, what's going on, or what's happening there, just kind of trying a few things out and testing a few things out. I'm going back in now and adding in the centers, and giving not every single flower a center, but just a few of them. And as you can see, we're just zipping right along with this. And it doesn't take very long to pull it out. But I think for myself, the challenge is always trying to figure out what will I create with my art, with the paper here. That's that first kind of getting everything down and unknown what to put. All right, so now I'm coming back in with highlights, and that I'm outlining some of the flowers. I thought I'm just going to give a little definition. I'm not going to outline every single flower, but I want to define and add detail to a few of them. And for me personally, I just like that look. I like that look of those white lines that define certain areas. And then other areas are very loose and illustrative. It's left up to the imagination. And so that's what I'm adding now, as I'm going back in and adding some of that detail work. Lisa, have you used, last week when I was on, the little artist had never heard of a jelly roll. And I hadn't either for the longest time. I found it from another artist I would say probably now about 4 years ago. But it's you can get it at your art store. And let me know if you've heard of it. I explained to them before that the nice thing about that is it's just a pen, and the white comes out. And if you're putting it down, I find for myself, if I put it down, I'm like, "Ooh, I don't really like that." I can wipe it away very quickly because it hasn't dried yet. So I like to use it. The other tip that I give to other artists, especially my members, is I tell them, if you're going to, well, they can do what they want, but I always suggest that if you're going to purchase these, purchase the size 10, the larger size, because when I put this down, I want to be able to see the highlights. I want to see it. And the other numbers that are smaller, I find for myself personally, are too tiny. It doesn't really show up as well. So I tell them, if you're going to purchase it, purchase the size number 10, and that basically means the tip. So how much ink and that is coming through. And it's one of the larger ones. All right. So we've kind of come down to where I'm about finishing this up. You have used them. Yes. I use a marker that is not water soluble in case I varnish it. Oh, okay. All right. So, what is the name of the marker that you like to use that's not water soluble? What do you prefer? Love to see that. All right, we're taking off the tape now and pulling it back. And this is one of my favorite times. I pulled it a little fast there. Oops, and ripped up some of the paper, but that glues down very easily. I love this part because I love the defining edges. You know, everything's been loose and flowing and just kind of haphazardly coming along. And a Posca. All right. Yes. Or an artistro. I probably didn't say that right. I've not ever heard of that one. So that would be fun to look up. Posca pens, I do have a few of those myself, but I don't use them very often. I guess I haven't like moved over into that area very much. But anyway, I love the crisp edges. I love that defining. It's like it already has this little frame all around it. And I'm going back in just for one last little bit of detail work and redefining some of those areas, some of those things. And just looking over, that's kind of the final stage, isn't it? Is you just sit back, you kind of look at it and decide what, what else does it feel like it needs? And because this is just my relaxation and my fun piece, I'm going back in and using my black marker, micron pen here to go back in and do some of that defining again, because for me, it's just like a breath of fresh air. It's just fun. It's almost like little doodling. And I have to really watch myself and say, that's enough and stop before I get too carried away. Thank you for your comment, Lisa, for that comment. I appreciate that. I do love just playing with it and having fun with it. We're coming up now just to the final finishing touches of it. And basically that's it, is just coming back in and detail as much as you like or as little as you like. But for me, it's like I said, it is a moment of relaxation. And I've stepped away from everything else that's going on in my life and just really enjoying those moments right there. I'm going to stop that. It's a little bit blurry. There we go. So you can see that, because that's really the end of the video for that particular class. But you can really see, as I lifted it up to the camera, the white jelly roll. You can see where I'm playing off of that with the dark and using the dark ink in to add some dimension and create that that variety between the light and dark and the shadows and the highlights. So that's just the fun part of it. And then left the other areas very loose. Didn't have to go in and define and outline every single thing. So that was very quick to create this. Thank you, Lisa. I'm going to take a minute here. And if you need to go ahead, because this is supposed to be for under 20 minutes. But I wanted to take a minute and I think part of the relaxation in that is being able to just really visualize. And so I'm going to do this just for the fun of it. I've not actually done it in a group. That's online. I've done it in many groups where I'm there with them, but not online. And that is to do, one of the things is to create different images in our mind and to let our mind just imagine and then create from it. This month I gave as one of our projects, I usually do a small card and then a larger project, a couple of larger projects for them. And so the larger project was a sailboat, and I walked them through process of painting with acrylics. I've got a couple of artists that said, I don't feel really comfortable with those. And so I thought, okay, well, great. Let's just focus a little more on it. And so this next month, we're going to be doing lemons and that. But anyway, I had a small project and it's a card size because we love to send out cards. And this is called Little Beach Buddies. And so I usually give them, typically I always give them a template that they can use if they want to go ahead and follow, just trace that on there and then follow the class and do the painting and that with it, or they're always welcome to just draw it freehand. But anyway, back to what I want to do is I wanted to do an imagery that I thought would be kind of fun about a sunny beach. And so I'm going to go through this with you for just a second and put it on this particular, so it can be replayed for those that come back in and watch. But just sit back and go through this imagery because this is part of the relaxation. It's part of really igniting our creativity because we can be so focused on what to create that our mind gets exhausted. And so if we'll take a few minutes and do some of these little, you can write, you can do lots of different things to just let the creative juices start flowing again. So if you're game, I'm going to go through a guided imagery here. And I chose the sunny beach because of the project that our group did this month. And then after we're through, and this will be on your own time, go back in and take yourself some watercolor paper or something, and you can either draw it all out or you can just let the colors that you choose be the defining of the imagery and go back and illustrate it. So let's take a second here and get yourself comfortable. Thank you, Lisa, for showing up. Take a deep breath in. This is an imagery, and it's really good for just slowing down and relaxing. And I'm going to just have you sit back wherever you are. And because we're on the internet and I can't see you, you can just close your eyes and relax. And you're going to let your mind just kind of wander as we go through. So just close your eyes for a minute and take some deep breaths. Breathe in and then breathe back out. And as you're breathing in, when I ever do imageries, I always think about, this is something I personally like to do, is when I'm breathing in, I love bright sunny days. And so I will breathe in that oxygen air, the bright sunshine, and then breathe out and release that. And I want you to take for just a second with your eyes closed and you're focused on that breathing. Picture yourself as you're arriving at a beautiful sunny beach. And the sky is clear and blue. And there's just a few fluffy clouds up in the sky that are drifting lazily by. They're just kind of floating around, but it's just a beautiful blue sky. The sun is shining warmly and you feel its gentle heat on your skin. So as you're breathing in, just think about that sun coming down and just warming your skin. And then breathe out. Visualize yourself walking barefoot on the soft golden sand. The sand is warm and soothing under your feet. And with each step, you just get this very gentle, calming sensation. Feel the sand sifting and shifting slightly as you move. And notice how it feels to be grounded to this peaceful setting. Can you just feel that warm sand? I can, right underneath my feet. And most of all, I love to listen to the waves. So focus on the sound of the waves, gently rolling in and out. Hear the rhythmic, soothing sound of the water as it meets the shore. With each wave brings a sense of calm, washing away any stress or tension. So just breathe that in and focus in on those waves and that movement, that rhythmic in and out. Imagine taking a deep breath in, filled with the fresh, salty sea air. Feel the cool, invigorating breeze on your face, carrying with it the scent of the ocean and the promise of relaxation. Picture yourself sitting comfortably on a beach towel or a lounge chair, just a few feet from the gentle waves. You can feel the soft, warm sun on your skin and the cool breeze against your face. Let yourself sink into this comfortable spot, really relaxing. Enjoy your surroundings. Notice the beauty of yours, everything that you can see, the ocean, the waves, how they hit the shore, the vibrant blue sky, the sparkling sunlight reflecting on the water, and the seagulls soaring gracefully above. Take in the colors, the textures, and the sounds of the beach, allowing them to envelop you in a sense of peace and tranquility. As you continue to relax by the water, let the peaceful environment soothe your mind and body. Allow any tension or worries to drift away with the waves. Feel the warmth of the sun and the coolness of the breeze, creating a peaceful balance of comfortable relaxation. Now, when you're ready to leave this serene beach, slowly bring your awareness back to the present moment. And with each breath, just start to feel yourself, your surroundings, the chair you're sitting in, maybe the couch you're laying on, whichever, but just become aware of your present moment. Wiggling your fingers, your toes, and then slowly open your eyes. Take another deep breath in. Breathe it out. And carry the calm relaxation from the beach with you as you go about your day. Oh, doesn't that feel relaxing? Now, I encourage you to take that feeling, pull out your paper, your colors, your watercolors, and you don't have to focus on creating an image, but just choose colors that represent the beautiful ocean sea and let those watercolors flow across your page. Go ahead and wet that paper down and then start dropping in color and watch how it just um, evaporate or how it spreads itself out, and notice, become very much aware of how it mixes and blends and moves itself across the page. Just play with the color. Don't concern yourself with creating an image of any sort. Play with the color and enjoy how that color and water play with each other. All right. Now, that is the end of this particular imagery. And I hope that you've enjoyed that. I am Kathy Freeman with Kathy Freeman Art. You can find my website at kathyfreemanart.com. Go on there, get yourself, if you're not on my email list, fill out the little section down towards the bottom of that first page and get on my email list. And I send something out once a week that kind of encourages. If you're interested in my Art Sisters, I will be opening it up soon. Go ahead and get on the waiting list. Put your name on there. Sometimes I send out an early invitation to those that have put their name on to invite them in so they can participate in what we're doing that month. All right. I want to thank you so much for joining. Remember, it doesn't take very long to be creative, and it's so good and healthy for our body. Thank you for showing up here with me today, and it's good to be with you. I will see you again next week. This is Kathy Freeman with Kathy Freeman Art.